Welcome, everybody. Welcome. It's been a minute. It's been like 2.5 COVIDs since last we were here. Make no mind of where my eyes are wandering to. The cameras all over the place. All right, the Oscars. They're coming. This was an amazing year for film. I thought, what a better opportunity to make my triumphant return to YouTube and at least bless my no less than two interested followers who may or may not be blood related to me with a rundown. So I've seen all these. I've seen every. All right. I did not see Song Sung Blue. The commercial turned me off immediately. Hugh Jackman looks preposterous. I heard that Leonardo DiCaprio. I heard on another podcast that Leonardo DiCaprio watched this and just kept saying, "Oh God, no," because of so many horrible things that happens to Kate Hudson. And I honestly feel that between Hamnet, Train Dreams, and Kick, If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. I think I am good. I think I'm good on all that. So this was a great year for movies. Let's start by. Should we start with the picks? Let's start with the picks. I think it's good in this one to look at it in tiers, not in like the tiers that I was consistently crying during Hamnet, but more the tiers that you talk about when you're organizing things. So for me, I had three big ones, and it's not that the ones outside of it weren't great. I liked them too. Let me just jump to it. Begonia, Hamnet, and Sinners were my three favorite movies out of this entire group. Sounds like One Battle After Another is probably going to win, which is interesting. It's the odds-on favorite, and I think it fits into the large it's his time narrative. So Paul Thomas Anderson has done Licorice Pizza, There Will Be Blood, Phantom Thread, Boogie Nights. Those are four movies that are wildly memorable, none of which won Best Picture, none of which got him a Best Director award because, spoiler alert, he's never won one. And they're all four movies that I would rank ahead of One Battle After Another if I was ranking PTA films. They are the odds-on favorite. But for me, Sinners was so different. Well, yeah, no, I know it was a vampire movie. I mean, it was, again, lots of spoilers here. If you haven't seen these, listen at your own risk. I'm not going to worry about spoiling anything. They are vampires, in case you didn't notice from the trailer, where Haley Steinfeld says, we're going to kill all you people with very clear things. In terms of the movie, it's not. Everybody's like, oh, it's so non-traditional. It's so weird. It's really not. It's a pretty standard 3-act. Smoke and Stack. Both played by Michael B. Jordan. More on that in a second. They're returning to town. They're gonna start a bar, start a new life. We get a little odd hint of what the potential villain's going to be as kind of a little prologue at the start. And then in the middle, they're working through some personal things and the vampires are making their way downtown. And then all hell breaks loose in the third act. I think it's because of that really just wild musical sequence in the middle that brings in some supernatural elements that folks are like, oh, it's just so strange. It's really not. It's really not. It's almost a perfect movie. Has an amazing cast. It will undoubtedly win the person who did the casting will win the first. They're finally doing an Academy Award for Best Casting Direction. You say casting direction? Best Casting Director. And this is going to win it. And even without that award, they still would have broken the record with 15 nominations, but this one got them 16. So for me, it's Sinners, and then Begonia. There's a great test for a movie for me that if I keep thinking about it, if I keep thinking about it, and my mother agrees with this, I'm low-key ripping this off of her. If I keep thinking about a film for days and days after, it's usually the mark of something exceptional. Now, if I just keep thinking about how much I hated it, obviously that's not it. But Begonia, I'm going to actually be careful not to spoil this one, because the final 15 minutes is pretty exceptional, but it is just so different than a lot of things. Now, look, I have a soft spot for I can't pronounce. I'm so sorry, I cannot pronounce the name of the Begonia director. He also did The Lobster and Poor Things and The Favorite. His name is Yorgos Lanthimos. That's probably pretty close. Not everybody can have a super boring name like mine. So I would have Begonia and Sinners in my top tier. And then, okay, so I finally watched Hamnet. I don't do grief porn. I don't respect it. I can turn on the news. There's enough. We got enough problems. But I was shocked at how uplifting and beautiful the story was by the end. I've never just straight up sobbed during a movie before. Now, keep in mind, I actively avoid movies that are just like, oh, a dog's life. And, hey, we're going to kill the dog at the end. Like, okay, I'm not interested. That's cheap. That's the part of I Am Legend I was like, and it's, come on. Anyway. But Hamnet was gorgeous. Now, admittedly, the final 30 minutes, a lot of it is the actual play Hamlet. And shocker, Shakespeare knew what he was doing, and his plays are just as compelling now as they were then. So for me, I've got Begonia, Hamnet, and Sinners. And then very close in a second tier, One Battle After Another and Sentimental Value. And for me, the biggest differentiator between the two tiers is for BHS, Begonia, Hamnet, and Sinners, that's not going to catch on. There really wasn't a moment where I found myself disengaged or my mind wandering, or I thought, hey, we could snip this. I mean, you could argue a little bit that the first act of Hamnet could use a little tighten. Just tighten. What was that Katherine Heigl, Seth Rogen comedy? Just tighten. Somebody out there is going to know this. Whereas One Battle After Another, it's close. It's close. I loved it. I love Paul Thomas Anderson movies, but I just didn't feel quite as engaged. I don't know. Yeah. I don't really have a lot of criticisms. It just, I don't know. I didn't find it as funny as I thought I would find it. I thought DiCaprio was great. I thought Tiana Taylor was great. It's great. It's great. It just I don't know. It just didn't move me like the other three. And then Sentimental Value was actually quite good. Well, obviously, Brad, it's been nominated for like a dozen, tons of Oscars. Not the tearjerker I was expecting. I was told how sad it was, but I actually thought it was more of just an exploration of a really dysfunctional family and trying to come back together, a father trying to come back and kind of get a redo in the sundown of his life. So I dug Sentimental Value. The rest of them, let me see if I can. I'm just going to share my screen right here. So that covers us. Okay. First, just looking at a list of the films. So I'm just going to scroll down to the films because honestly, what we don't want to do is spend 3 hours talking about every film. So again, I'd have Sinners first with Begonia right there and Hamnet right on its tail, and One Battle After Another is going to win more than likely because and I think all right, let's do this. We're going to jump into, but first, let me just take a look at these real quick. F1 is Top Gun and Days of Thunder. It's awesome. It looks great. It's sexy as hell, which is going to get an award. Frankenstein is brutally slow, and I loved The Shape of Water, but this doesn't have quite the propulsive plot of Shape of Water. It's your basic Frankenstein story with one giant exception, the take on the Frankenstein character, which more on that here in a few. But I think that is what really sets this apart. I mean, it looks like Guillermo del Toro knows how to make a gorgeous movie. Engage Pan's Labyrinth filter. He nailed it. It looked great, but it's slow. Like, let's just be real. Marty Supreme. I love the Safdie brothers, and I know this was just Josh Safdie, but I really disliked the lead character to just a great extent. I didn't enjoy Shark Tank Guy in a movie. We've got a lot of people who've worked really hard to be actors. You know what? I shouldn't even let me back it up. I shouldn't put it like that. I'm all for innovative casting. And I'm sitting here changing my mind in real time because that guy comes off as a real sleazeball, and I have a feeling that probably came pretty naturally to him. So never mind. Honestly, everybody does their job great. Chalamet is kinetic and dislikable and the true villain of the film. I definitely don't think it's a best film. Train Dreams, it's gorgeous to watch, but if I'll go ahead and give away one award. My grief porn award of the year definitely goes to Train Dreams, but it's gorgeous. There are some moments of levity that are really funny, and that's typically all of the times when he's out. He's a timberman. Oh my God, I'm sure Paul Bunyan cuts down trees. There's some really funny scenes out there played by some that guy actors that you would love. Well, William H. Macy's not that guy with some funny lines, but boy, I'd never want to see that again. And then Secret Agent, I don't know what to make of. I think my expectations were a little out of line, misaligned coming in. I thought it was. I had heard it's a real takedown on fascism because of its when it's set in Brazil. It's the 70s, and it's certainly there and it's very present. But it's very hard to get at. It's like one of those the nuts you crack at Christmas. You really got to work to get to them. It's there. The performances are really good. Wagner Moore's performance is really good. I think everybody else is just fine. So again, I'll be rooting for Sinners. I know Begonia's not going to get it. There's not a lot of people I know that are on the Begonia bus as much as me. I'm going to copyright that Begonia bus. I love Hamnet. I don't think it's as sad as everybody says it is. I think it was just beautiful by the end. One battle after another. I loved it. It was fun. It was a fun story. But I don't know that I came away like, whoa, that's a best picture. All right. So let's talk a little bit about the individual categories as I want them to be. We're not going to talk about Cal Shee or betting favorites. So for best actor, it's Michael B. Jordan versus Jesse Plemons for me. Let me just say, this year is like just stacked. I mean, the people who are nominated here, almost in every category. Like, I wanted to give an award, the what would you say you do around here award for, like, who is it that doesn't belong? Every major category, there's just no weakness. So for actor, you have Timothée Chalamet, Leonardo DiCaprio for One Battle After Another, Michael B. Jordan Sinners, Wagner Moore for The Secret Agent, then Ethan Hawke in Blue Moon, which is a movie I very much did not enjoy. And I think this comes down to Jesse Plemons versus Michael Jordan. Michael B. Jordan, and I think he's going to win. Jesse Plemons, though, this performance is going to go under the radar because he melts away. There is no point where you're like, oh, that's Jesse B. Plemons, you know? And I know what you're saying, Brad. He's not George Clooney. He's not Brad Pitt. No one's ever like, oh, it's just Jesse Plemons being cool like Jesse Plemons. Look, you're right. Okay, you're right. Like, he wasn't like suave in what was the dog? Hair of the Dog? I don't know. Whatever it was called. I liked it. Or Civil War, or in Breaking Bad. Although you could argue he's kind of charismatic, though he was a total murdering sociopath in that show. But I just thought his performance, like, he's just lost in it in like the best way. He's just completely lost in the role. And you just never know, how crazy is he? Is he totally crazy? What is he going to do next? And I don't mean like in a weird Mel Gibson cartoony, let's, yoink yoink, poke you in the face, this is a real badge and a real gun, lethal weapon kind of way. I mean, like, what is going on behind those eyes? So yeah, I think Michael B. Jordan's going to win it. He's giving you the 2-for-1, smoke and stack. That's right, folks. You get smoke and stack. One night only, Sunday night for the Oscars. I don't know the last time, if ever, someone played twins and was widely expected to. Well, I shouldn't say widely expected, but is a slight betting favorite to win Best Actor. Normally, I'd say that's cheap. It's to play one role. Tom Hardy tried this a while back with that story about, they were crime bosses. They were twins in England, also I think in the 70s, 60s. I don't know. Not a good movie. But I can't recall one. So feel free to drop in the chat if you can. But I'll be very happy if Michael B. Jordan. Honestly, I'm going to be happy if almost anybody wins it. I'm not going to be super happy if Chalamet or Ethan Hawke win. I just think Chalamet was just a fast talking Chalamet. He's a brilliant performer, but this to me was like, it's the same reason I wouldn't give George Clooney an Oscar for being in Ocean's 11. It's just Chalamet, quick, being fast talking Chalamet, keeping it at about a 12 out of 10. It's so much fun to watch, but again, I don't think it's like a groundbreaking performance. Wagner Moura, though, I need to just start dipping into these awards because he gets the, I'll just do them. No, I want to save them. I want to save them for their own section. But yeah, so my pick here is Michael B. Jordan. I'd love it if Jesse, you know what I'm just now realizing, everybody, and this is why you do this stuff live. Jesse B. Plemons wasn't nominated. So he's definitely not going to win. The same way Paul Mescal, who I am stunned is not. Okay, so I would have loved to have seen Ethan Hawke and Timothée Chalamet replaced with Jesse Plemons and Paul Mescal. So we'll just that's live podcasting, folks. So we'll keep trucking along. I will be happy though with. We're going to get a fun acceptance speech no matter what. I love all these actors. So anyway, I hope Michael B. Jordan wins it because I love Sinners. All right, moving on. Actor in a supporting role. We're not gonna go as deep. Delroy Lindo would be a lot of fun. This guy, whether it's Gone in 60 Seconds, and he's getting on them about revving that car because they're trying to get rid of the drugs that fell on the floor. But it doesn't matter. Sean Penn's absolutely going to win this. Absolutely going to win this. And I'm going to tell you why. So I didn't even realize this until doing some research myself. But as I check one thing on Joe Pesci. Yeah, okay. The best supporting actor category, if there's a villain in it, they pretty much are going to win. You've got Joe Pesci in Goodfellas. I knew he won it, and I knew it was for Goodfellas or Casino, but okay. Joe Pesci in Goodfellas. Christopher Waltz in Inglourious Basterds. Heath Ledger in the Dark Knight. You've got Anthony Hopkins in Silence of the Lambs. If you get nominated and you are a villain, you're probably going to win. And I think this is Sean Penn. Delroy Lindo would be fun. I love Benicio. I'm glad he's already got an Oscar for Traffic. He does not need an Oscar. He's in this movie. He's in One Battle After Another for like 12 minutes. But Brad, Anthony Hopkins was in it for 15. That's fine. Benicio's great. He's just doing his broody thing. Like, he deserved an Oscar for Sicario, like, way more than this. So, no, it's not happening. Jacob Elordi's not happening. Although, my man, like, way to get that Saltburn bath washed off you clean. Because this was, not that he was bad in Saltburn, but he was great as a friend. Stellan Skarsgård, this could fall in. We want to talk about narrative watch. And Stellan Skarsgård could fall into the, it's just their time narrative. I think that's why Paul Thomas Anderson is a lock to win Best Director. They don't want another Stanley Kubrick, Alfred Hitchcock situation where somehow Rob Reiner pour one out, where somehow these brilliant directors make all these amazing films and then they're gone and they've never won an Oscar. It's insane. So Paul Thomas Anderson's probably going to get it. Though, Ryan Coogler's young. He's going to have so many more bats. I mean, Paul Thomas Anderson isn't old, but he certainly has been passed over too many times. So again, narrative watch. I think Skarsgård's one shot is maybe he could fall into that, but I can argue that Delroy Lindo has been just as prolific an actor as Skarsgård. And honestly, I didn't find the Skarsgård performance that nuanced. And again, when I say these things, I'm not saying it wasn't a really good performance. I'm just, when you've got such a great group, you've got to find differentiators. And I think, Lindo was great. He really laid it on thick and nailed that role. And Sean Penn was like a supervillain. I mean, he basically was like just a supervillain from a comic book movie in all the best ways. Best Actress. So Jessie Buckley's going to win for Hamnet. As somebody joked, she goes through multiple childbirths. She and Paul Mescal just do some kind of crazy emotional voodoo on you in that third act. It is, again, it's one of the most gorgeous, beautiful final 45 minutes to a movie I've ever seen. I've never had to stop a movie to go get tissues. Ever. I can usually just suck it up a little bit. Again, Will Smith's killing a dog, and it's got me feeling some kind of way, but I'm back. But I also was happy through about half of those tears. Well, let's see. Emma Stone could win it for Begonia. I think she has 3. She has 2 or 3. They're not going to give her another one. She was brilliant again in Begonia. You could give Michael Jordan the MVP most seasons. Rose Byrne, though, that's my dark horse. If I had legs, I'd kick you. If I had legs, I'd kick you. It's a rough watch. It'll be mentioned in the awards, my awards. If you have young children, don't watch this movie. If you don't have kids, if they're out of the house, please watch this movie. I would love to know what you think. She basically is one of the most stressed out moms on earth, mostly because nearly every man in her universe is not good for much. Except for, let's see, it's not Travis Scott. It is, because this was funny. Like, I'm sitting here watching ASAP Rocky, $AP Rocky. It was quite good. He's good in this movie. I was not expecting him to be in it. But she's if you've ever seen the show Physical, it is that character, but not doing anywhere near as well. So if you've seen Physical, you probably just said shudder to think. But she is dominant. She is dominant in this movie. She's coming to pieces. Excuse me, going to. I don't know where that came from. Going to pieces. It's really. It's just a dynamic performance. We're going to move on because I'm saying and dynamic too much. This is the joys of solo podcasting. All right. Actress in a supporting role. So to recap on that, Jessie Buckley's going to win. Rose Byrne's right there on her heels. If I had to pick, I'd give it to Jessie Buckley, and I had Rose Byrne before I saw Hamnet. So whatever that tells you. And then I had Begonia before I saw those two. I had Emma Stone. Actress in a supporting role. And this will be the last one before we get to the Brad Awards. This is the most wide open group. You got Elle Fanning from Sentimental Value, and she really sticks out in that film in a good way, though. Not a you don't belong here in this group way. More of a like you're nailing this because you're clearly the outsider and you play it perfectly. She's so good in this. I had some jokes, and then I just kept thinking through, like, why are you making jokes? She's really good. That's cheap. You're just being cheap because she's the only American performer in this, and it sticks out like a sore thumb, but that is done with purpose. Great movie, and much like Hamnet, it's going to put you through it a little bit, but very, very hopeful at the end. Very, very hopeful at the end. Amy Madigan in Weapons. The Academy loves the transformation. I can see her nabbing this. But the odds-on favorite, according to betting platforms, I believe, at least it was, is Teyana Taylor in One Battle After Another. She's electric. You got, again, like most of these, you got great options here. You've got great options. But I think it's Taylor, and I think Madigan is the one that's right there toward the end. Okay. So those are the picks for the Oscars. Just recapping, I'm picking Sinners, slight Begonia, Michael B. Jordan as I learned in a stunning self-revelation, Jesse Plemons was not nominated. I like for Best Actress, Jessie Buckley, Best Supporting Actor. I'm kind of rooting for Delroy Lindo, but I think Sean Penn's got it locked up because, again, great performance as a villain. And then Actress in a Supporting Role, I'll be rooting for. I'm not going to be rude. I'll be real happy if Teyana Taylor or Amy Madigan wins it. All right, let's jump on to my awards. The first annual Brad Awards. And we played around. I keep saying me played around with these categories. So let's just. And I have a late minute change. Okay. Wait, one last recap. Paul Mescal again in Hamnet. He just got robbed. You could have easily swapped out Benicio del Toro or Stellan Skarsgård if you even wanted to push him down to Best Supporting Actor, and he would have won. Please watch Hamnet. And I never thought I'd be the one caping for Hamnet, because I was like, oh my God, another movie based around Shakespeare. Are we doing this again? And then I watched it, and these performances are amazing. So, just wanted to recap that. All right, movie that felt, holy cow, that was a long bus ride award for the movie that felt the longest. Initially, I had Secret Agent, but I think I'm going to swap it with Train Drains. Nope. I'm leaving it Secret. I'm sorry, Wagner Moura. I love you. He also is going to win the award for the rizziest performance. For real. I know you go, Michael B. Jordan, Timothy Chalamet. Yes. Secret Agent, the best part of this movie is just watching Wagner Moura just kind of stew and brood and move throughout the world. So while that movie wins, This Was a Long Bus Ride, the movie that felt the longest, Wagner Moura wins the rizziest performance of the year. So take that. The looks like you're going to be the villain after all award goes to Timothy Ballet. That's right, Timothy Ballet. Timothy Chalamet in Marty Supreme. Look, he's just a villain. He is, y'all. But instead of harping on that, we'll take the quick detour to Timothy Ballet because he went on a podcast, he went on a show with All Right, Matthew McConaughey, and said something about how he don't want movies to go the way of ballet and opera. Nobody pays attention. If you ever need a great example of why pissing people off is the best clickbait, why outrage can be so easily manufactured, I propose to you the Timothy Ballet controversy. This was a nothing burger. You know what? Ding me for using a cliche. This was nothing. He made a little comment. When's the last time you said to somebody, man, I'm a huge supporter of the ballet and opera? I'm fine with it. I love all the performing arts. But to think that someone in their early 20s who's a movie star, who's trying to be honest and witty, and is you think they're gonna. I'd rather have him say what he said that I think he actually means, even if it's cooked in an oven of snark, than something like he's running for office where it's all the arts need to be equally supported, and as I believe in film, I also believe. I don't know why I'm talking. You know what? I will do it like, as I believe in film, I also believe in ballet and opera, and ask anyone around. If you support film, you should also support them. That is Daniel Plainview, and I think I'm going to talk like him more if I can help it. So, the whoops, I'm a villain all of a sudden award goes to Timothy Ballet. The holy moly sexy as hell, goodness gracious, great balls of fire award goes to the cast of F1. Everyone in this movie is hot. Everyone must have their own individual stylist because they all have these amazing individual styles. Damson Idris, Brad Pitt, and then I am not going to forget her name. Hang on with me, everybody. This makes for really good audio. The lead actress in F1, Carrie Condon. And Javier Bardem, of course. Oh boy. I mean, these folks look amazing. And anyway, the Sexy as Hell, the first annual Sexy as Hell award for the Oscars goes to F1. The stop, he's already dead. The famous quote from The Simpsons, probably more of a famous GIF for most listeners at this point. It goes to Blue Moon. This was, you know what? We're going to go back to the movie that felt the longest. Secret Agent, you're off the hook. It's going to go to Blue Moon, and Blue Moon's going to take home 2 awards. The performance by Ethan Hawke is quite good. The performance by Bobby Cannavale, Carnival, as the bartender was really affected. And then Margaret Qualley's plucky Northeastern. It was a lot. It was a lot. This is a rough watch, and so Stop. He's already dead though, or definitely goes to Blue Moon. Just a cringy watch. Not an Ethan Hawke's performance, but just like this guy is just begging for punishment. It's sad. Obviously, he's battling alcoholism, and that's historically how he dies. That's very, very sad. But talk about someone who a character, at least. Let's just talk about the movie and not the actual person. Is delusional and can't take a hint. Oh my God, that was like watching nails on a chalkboard for the entire length of the movie. The acting award, filled with real deal thespians, goes to sentimental value, which is probably why they got noms. 2 people up for Best Supporting Actress, 1 for Best Supporting Actor, 1 for Best Actress, and nominated for Best Picture, which makes sense because it's a movie about acting to a large extent. No, not just. It's a lot of, no, Brad, it's about dealing with the trauma of our youth and how that chases us into adulthood and reconciliation with our parents. Got it. I know. But it's also about acting. So, sorry. The Are You Sure You Want to Have Kids award. So, If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You is not nominated for Best Picture, but it got a nomination for Rose Byrne for Best Actress. So it fits the bill. And boy, howdy. If you watch this, I did. I'm not going to say how I feel after, but we're going to have our antenna up if we have some kids after watching that. There's some red flags that we'll be like a lifeguard on a beach in the Cape Horn in South Africa somewhere, and don't lecture me if Cape Horn does not have a beach. I don't know my geography. I just mean a lifeguard when there's shark-infested waters. I will be on that much of a red flag lookout. Because if I had legs, I'd kick you. Basically, I think the summary's wrong. I read the summary's like about a movie. It's a movie about a woman trying to raise a child with digestive issues. I don't think that's the problem. I believe it's more a mental illness thing, and you got to put a tube in the kid's stomach to get them to eat because they get scared of eating food. They don't like how it feels. Woo, boy. Wore me out. So yeah, Are You Sure You Want to Have a Kids award, best case not to have children, goes to If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. Hamnet's hanging around because you have to watch a lady have 3 children, and the guys might watch it and be like, I don't know, if I was a woman, boy, ouch. The character that could definitely be an Avenger award goes to Frankenstein. One of the cooler things about this portrayal of Frankenstein is he is low-key the Incredible Hulk mixed with Wolverine. Maybe they're the same. Hulk always does heal up, so we'll just stick with the Hulk. Watch it. Watch my man's put hands on a ship. Just loved it. I need a cut of just his scenes, and I would rewatch that. Okay. We've already done the Rizziest, Sexy as Hell. And I think that's about it. The goal is to keep this under 40 minutes. We're about there. Thank you for taking this journey with me. This is the first one back in a while, so it was probably a little more discombobulated. But yeah, look for it. We're going to distribute it as a podcast, unlike last time as well. And it's Oscar season, baby. Enjoy your St. Pat's. Bye-bye.